And joining us in the studio for more insight on some of the issues raised in the Just Watched report is a human rights and constitutional lawyer, Professor Anthony Agbazwere. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, and good evening, Nigerians.
All right, Prof. Now, some politicians and their political parties have been aligning and realigning ahead of the 2027 general election. Meanwhile, stakeholders are calling attention of relevant institutions to critical component of the process, which, of course, is the credibility of election outcomes. What is your take in all of this?
Thank you very much. Well, I do not disagree with those politicians that are talking about credibility of elections, because if the elections are not credible, I mean, it would have really come to naught. And I think the basic issue now should be, what should we do in this country to make sure that our elections are credible and acceptable by majority of Nigerians? In the first place, we have to up our game in voter education. A lot of people do not really understand certain things and even how to vote. The need not to collect bribe, allow themselves, to be overwhelmed by these people who engage in vote buying and all of that. We need to do more in voter education. And that is one. Number two, we actually need to work hard to ensure that there is transparency, in the electoral process. That will also give people, some level of confidence. You see, INEC almost got it right in 2023 through the BVAS and the IRF. But along the line, they faltered. If they could now take it serious and make sure that BVAS works, if the BVAS works, the bimodal voter accreditation system, that word bimodal is two-pronged, So if they get it to work, rigging will no longer be possible.
Fantastic, Prof.
Yes.
Away from INEC, security challenges are usually encountered before, during, and after elections in Nigeria. Vote buying and voter apathy are also some of the issues that mar the credibility of election results. And what solution would you actually prefer ahead of the 2027 election to these issues?
Yes, in the first place, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago that the Chief of Defense Staff, in a program, he said that fighting security, that we have to bring in both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches. If we will listen to President Tinubu's, message of everybody going to farm, he's already supporting this issue. Look at even, he also has now divided Ministry of Agriculture. The other one is livestock and so on. If we can feed ourselves, if people will have food on their table, it will reduce the possibility of somebody going to do something because he's hungry, collecting money from you, vote buying and all of that. So that is also very necessary. So apart from that, I also think that to reduce tension, there's also something we should do, which is happening in Rwanda. Let us create some seats in the National Assembly for women. Out of 80 in Rwanda, they have 24 for women. They have 2 for youths. And these 2 for youths, you get it through the National Youth Council.
I'm very glad.
Then they have one again for the disabled. And even education, this thing we are talking about, voter education, all of that. Education is in section 40 of the article of the Rwandan Constitution, where it is under the fundamental right of every Rwandan. So, you see, when you do some of these things, women have their seats, the youth have their seats, disabled have some seats, the tension will reduce, and then the pressure will no longer be so much on government. And like I said earlier, you also provide, apart from the non-kinetic, you also go kinetic. Provide
Fantastic.
for the security people too.
Many thanks, Prof. I'm glad you're supporting the call for special seats for women, and of course, other vulnerable groups. Many thanks for your time, and thank you for being on News Extra tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Professor Anthony Agbazwere, a constitutional lawyer.